Hyun-bin, you need to come out now. His mother's voice trembled through the bathroom door. He stared at his underwear, at the impossible red stain that couldn't be real, that shouldn't exist. His hands shook as he gripped the sink. 14 years of his life, and nothing had prepared him for this moment. Mom, something's wrong. Something's really wrong with me. The door opened slowly. His mother's face went pale, then crumbled into something between relief and devastation. She knelt beside him, and when she reached for his hand, he pulled away. Why aren't you surprised? His voice cracked. Mom, why do you look like you were expecting this? She couldn't meet his eyes. We need to talk to your father. Get cleaned up, sweetie. I'll get you some pads from my bathroom. Pads? Mom, I'm a boy. Boys don't need pads. This has to be some kind of medical emergency, right? We need to go to the hospital. Hyun-bin, please just trust me. Clean yourself up, and we'll explain everything. The next 30 minutes felt like drowning. Hyun-bin sat at the kitchen table, his father across from him with red-rimmed eyes, his mother clutching a photo album he'd never seen before. His little sister had been sent to their grandmother's house. Whatever this conversation was, it required privacy, and that terrified him more than the blood. You remember when we told you that you were special? His father began, his voice barely above a whisper. Everyone tells their kids they're special, Dad. What does that have to do with what's happening to me? His mother opened the album. Baby pictures. A hospital bracelet. And then a document that made his stomach drop. Birth certificate. Sex, female. No. Hyun-bin pushed the album away. That's not mine. That's not me. Sweetheart, when you were born, the doctors said you were a girl. But from the moment you could talk, you insisted you were a boy. You cried when we put you in dresses. You refused to answer to your birth name. You were so sure, so absolutely certain, that we thought maybe you knew something we didn't. We took you to specialists, his father continued. Psychologists, endocrinologists. Some said you were transgender. Others said to wait and see. But you were so persistent, so miserable when we tried to raise you as a girl, that we made a decision. We let you live as the boy you said you were. Hyun-bin's chest felt tight. You let me? You've been lying to me my entire life. We weren't lying, his mother said, tears streaming down her face. We were listening to you. You told us who you were, and we believed you. But I have periods now? How does that make sense? How is that even possible if I'm a boy? His voice rose with each word. Did you give me some kind of medication? Did you do something to me? No, no medications. Hyun-bin, biologically, your body developed as female. We knew puberty would come eventually, but we kept hoping maybe there was something different about you, something the doctors missed. He stood up so fast the chair fell backward. So what am I? What have I been? You're our son, his
You're
father
our
said
son.
firmly.
That hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed. Hasn't changed? Dad, I just got a period. I have a period. That's not something sons have. That's not something boys have. He grabbed his hair with both hands. I played on the boys' soccer team. I changed in the boys' locker room. I've been telling everyone I'm a boy since I was 3 years old, and now you're telling me I've been wrong this whole time. You weren't wrong about how you feel. His mother stood, trying to approach him, but he backed away. Gender identity is complex. What you're experiencing is called gender dysphoria. Many transgender people go through this. Your body might be one thing, but your mind, your sense of self, that's what really matters. Transgender. The word felt foreign in his mouth. I'm not transgender. I'm just a boy. I've always been just a boy. And you still can be, his father said. There are options. Hormone blockers, therapy, eventually hormone replacement therapy if that's what you choose. We can help you transition medically. Transition? From what to what? I thought I already was a boy. Hyun-bin's vision blurred with tears. Everyone at school knows me as a boy. My friends, my teachers, Coach Kim who's been training me for the regional championships. What am I supposed to tell them? You don't have to tell them anything you don't want to, his mother said softly. But they'll find out eventually, won't they? Because now I have to deal with this every month? Because my body is betraying everything I thought I knew about myself. The silence that followed was suffocating. Hyun-bin grabbed his jacket and headed for the door. Where are you going? His mother called. Anywhere but here. He ran until his lungs burned. until he reached the park where he'd played as a child, where he'd climbed trees and scraped his knees and never once questioned who he was. He collapsed on a bench and finally let himself cry. His phone buzzed. Text after text from his parents. Then one from his best friend, Min-jae. Dude, you still coming over tomorrow? My mom's making your favorite. How could he face Min-jae? They'd been friends since first grade, had shared everything. Except this. Except the fundamental truth that apparently everyone had been hiding from him. He typed back, can't tomorrow. Family stuff. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Everything okay? Yeah, just tired. The lie tasted bitter. That night, Hyun-bin lay in bed staring at the ceiling, at the glow-in-the-dark stars he'd put up when he was 8. He thought about every moment of his life, re-examining them through this new, horrible lens. Had his parents been pretending the whole time? Had they looked at him and seen a daughter playing dress-up? Had the other parents whispered at soccer games, knowing something he didn't? The next morning, his mother knocked softly. Can I come in? He didn't answer, but she entered anyway, holding a steaming mug of hot chocolate, his comfort drink since childhood. I made an appointment with Dr. Young. She's a therapist who specializes in gender identity. Just to talk, to help you process everything. I don't want to talk to a stranger about this. Then talk to me. She sat on the edge of his bed. Hyun-bin, I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But we made the choices we thought were best. You were so unhappy, so distressed as a little girl. We couldn't bear to see you suffer. So you let me live a lie instead? It wasn't a lie. Your feelings were real. They still are. But now your body is changing, and we need to figure out together how to move forward. What if I don't know how to move forward? What if I don't know who I am anymore? His mother's hand found his. Then we'll figure it out together. One day at a time. The therapy sessions started the following week. Dr. Yang was patient, kind, never pushing him to accept labels he wasn't ready for. She explained gender dysphoria, the difference between biological sex and gender identity, the reality that thousands of people experienced what he was going through. But I never felt dysphoric before, Hyun-bin insisted during their third session. I just felt like myself. That's because everyone was affirming your identity, Dr. Yang explained. Now your body is developing in a way that conflicts with how you see yourself, and that's causing distress. That's dysphoria. So what do I do about it? That's up to you. Some people choose medical intervention, puberty blockers, hormones, eventually surgery. Others find ways to cope without medical transition. Some people's feelings change over time. There's no one right answer. I just want to go back to before, he whispered. When things were simple. I know. But we can't go backward. We can only move forward. Moving forward meant difficult conversations. With his sister, who cried and hugged him and said, "You're still my big brother." With his grandmother, who struggled but ultimately said, "I just want you to be happy." With Coach Kim, who surprised him by saying, "I've known since you were 10. Your mom told me." Doesn't change that you're the best midfielder I've ever coached. But Min-jae was different. Min-jae was his person, his best friend, and Hyun-bin couldn't find the words. They sat in Min-jae's room, controllers in hand, pretending to play video games while Hyun-bin's secret sat between them like a wall. You've been weird lately, Min-jae finally said, pausing the game. Did I do something? No. It's not you. It's me. It's complicated. We're best friends, man. Nothing's too complicated to talk about. Hyun-bin set down his controller. His heart pounded so hard he thought it might break through his ribs. What if I told you something that changed everything you thought you knew about me? Min-jae turned to face him fully. Try me. I'm transgender. The words came out in a rush. I was born female, but I've always identified as male, and my parents let me live as a boy, and I didn't even know until last month when I got my period, and now everything's messed up and I don't know who I am or what I am. And I'm terrified you'll think I'm a freak and never want to talk to me again. The silence stretched for what felt like hours, but was probably only seconds. Then Min-jae said, Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you're transgender. That doesn't change that you're still Hyun-bin. You're still the guy who helped me pass math last year. You're still the guy who ate an entire pizza by himself on a dare. You're still my best friend. Hyun-bin's eyes filled with tears. Really? Dude, did you think I'd just abandon you? What kind of friend would I be? Min-jae punched his shoulder lightly. Though I have questions. Like, how does it work? Are you going to stay a boy? What happens now? And they talked. For hours, they talked. Hyun-bin explained everything he'd learned, everything he was still figuring out. Min-jae listened, asked questions, made terrible jokes that somehow made everything feel less heavy. Over the next few months, Hyun-bin started hormone blockers to stop his periods and prevent further female puberty. He continued therapy. He came out to more people, some accepting, some confused, some who he'd simply decided weren't worth keeping in his life. He learned that identity wasn't something fixed and unchanging, but something you discovered and rediscovered. He learned that being transgender didn't make him less of a boy. He learned that his parents, despite their mistakes, had always loved him. On his 15th birthday, his father gave him a new birth certificate. Name, Hyun-bin. Sex marker, male. It had taken months of legal paperwork, but there it was, official recognition of who he'd always known himself to be. We should have done this years ago, his father said quietly. We should have made it official from the start. Hyun-bin hugged him tight. You did your best. We're here now, and that's what matters. Standing in his room that night, looking at his reflection, Hyun-bin saw himself clearly for the first time. Not the person everyone thought he should be, not the body he was born with, but the person he actually was. A boy who'd faced impossible challenges and survived. A boy who was still learning, still growing, still becoming. His phone buzzed. Min-jae, movie tomorrow? He smiled. Definitely. Life wasn't perfect. He still had hard days, still struggled with dysphoria, still faced people who didn't understand. But he also had family who supported him, friends who accepted him, and most importantly, he had himself. The real him. The him he'd always been, just with a clearer understanding now. If you found Hyun-bin's story meaningful, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story matters too, and you're not alone. Like this video to help others find it who might need to hear this message. Until next time, remember that discovering who you truly are is never a mistake. It's courage.